take a look at how this chariot is actually leaving marks in the ground. Amazing clothes again, and amazing clothes animation. Much more superior to what we saw in the last Grand Theft Auto. Little grass, little patches. And this is amazing. I don't know how they do that, but we'll see in another plane. They have like these amazing 3D rocks in the terrain, really well blended with the terrain. Usually terrains in video games is just a heat map, just a plane that you put up, and then you put some static meshes of rocks to make better like vertical walls and stuff like that. But these ones are really well integrated. In most games you can actually see and notice what is the terrain and what are the meshes. Waterfall, really difficult to do. Great in this part, not that great here, but take a look at the rocks and the water actually falling through the rocks here. It's really well made in this part. Now we're going to see an example of detail. So in this table, as you can see, it's a table that's going to be a recurrent table because you are expected to see the table a lot of time in the screen. So it has a really high detail. Why? How do we know that you're going to see the table a lot? Because they are playing a game into this table. So every time you play the game, you're going to see this table. And as you can see, it has little cracks and little kind of details in the silhouette. And we're going to see now a prop that is not going to be used as much, which is this kind of bench. And as you can see, it's only 3 polygons. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It doesn't mean it's bad or it's worse. It means that they put detail where detail needs to be. And we game devs, yes, we realize these kind of things, but I'm sure that if I haven't told you this, you didn't even realize. More amazing light effects. Boom offsets in the ground. More amazing light effects. Take a look, just a little detail of something that happens in video games. He's touching the paper, as you're going to see, the shadow of his finger is never actually going to touch the paper. That's because it's really hard to make super accurate to the centimeter shadows in video games. Okay, let's take a look now into the shadow. See the cling, and the shadow didn't touch it. Again, the draw distance of the grass is really interesting. I would really like to know how they did this. Okay, so this is a perfect example of why game developers, we only put detail in the things that need it. So this is a scene or something, a point of interest, and as you can see, compared to the silhouette of the rock we saw earlier, this one is much more interesting, and it even has little rocks around and a little bit of vegetation in the crackles. That's because it is something you are going to see, like probably going to go here, yes and yes, so that's why you need to put more detail here, because it's an interest point. A little landmark here that is going to appear later, these rocks. Amazing boom offsets in the ground, some seams over here, nothing too important. And these rocks, man, they're going to appear later, and we're going to take actually a closer look later. Finally, some foam in the water that we didn't saw earlier. That's maybe because, like in Grand Theft Auto, you only see foam when you're close. But if you take a look at this white, compared to the shot in the rear from below, there was no white. But I'm glad that when you are close enough, you see the foam. Again, this is something good because it means they are showing you the real thing. the wetness of the environment, not only the floor but everything. It's like kind of wet and not sweaty, but wet and cold. It's really, really well done. I've only seen that in The Witcher 3, in the part of the map where they are at war, No Man's Land, I think they call it, and it's really, really well implemented here too. It's not an effect. It's little effects adding up, and it's one of the most difficult things to do in a video game. I don't know if you realize, but the water is not only a plane, it moves up and down, and that's great because it means we have like 3D real waves actually. Let's take a look at that again. Notice the water moving up on the whoop, see that there? So nice, 3D water confirmed. That's the landmark we saw earlier. More subsurface over here. As you can see, this is like translucent vegetation because the light is going through. That's amazing. Fur confirmed for animals. That's great. It's something they are already using in Grand Theft Auto. So I was expecting to see that in Red Dead Redemption, but it's great to see it's coming back. More subsurface and fog and wetness. That's amazing, all working at once. More volumetric fog. And this is amazing. This is awesome. Why? As I said earlier, one thing is the head map, another one is the meshes you put, but take a look at these rock formations. Where is the head map and where are the static meshes you put on top of it? It's perfectly blend together. Like, there's no way to see, oh no, this is head map. I think this is a new technique. I think this is not head map plus meshes anymore. But what is really amazing about it, there was a couple of games that already did that, like Ghost Recon Wildlands or previous Grand Theft Auto. But what is really amazing about this is that it seems that these rocks are actually photogrammetry rocks. Photogrammetry is a technique we game developers use, which you scan a rock from the environment to the real environment and then you put it in the game. But as you can see, it's like photogrammetry, totally well blended with the real world. And how do you see its photogrammetry? Because of the quality of the rock. It's amazing quality, the crackles and just the overall shape and cohesion of the rock. That can only be done by a super great artist or nature, which is a super great artist. So I don't know if this is photogrammetry or not. I bet my ass it is. But if it's not, kudos to the artist. It's like fantastic. And again, the draw distance of the vegetation and the feeling of the cold feeling of the environment is really well done, as long as with the interaction with the clouds. But in the other hand, I see this cloud and I say, maybe it's not true sky, maybe it's another thing. So I think they actually reused the cloud system of the last Grand Theft Auto, and on top of that they added the true sky for the closer clouds. I think it's a balance between both systems, because true sky is not really good to make certain kinds of and shapes of clouds, and it seems that they have both. So I think that's why you saw actually these really good quality clouds everywhere you look. Amazing animation, will blend between idle animation and running animation while turning. That's something really special too in the horse. It's not something you usually see in video games. There's something I really like about this end segment, aside from the amazing clouds, of course, which is the interaction of the horses with the grass. Yeah, they interact and the grass moves with the wind, but it's not overreacted. I'm sick of seeing like overreacted grass in video games. It just moves too much. I think that game developers, we just want to show, hey, look, my grass moves and it's reactive. Yeah, but real grass is not like that. And it seems like in Rockstar they really nailed the grass and the little movement of the grass and little interaction with the grass in Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, I think this is oil. This is the last part of the trailer showing a little bit of things. Actually, it's something interesting if you are curious about it. You can see actually over here the resolution of the shadows, which is quite big. But here, for example, you can see a little bit of the soul artifacts on over here. Excuse me, I say shadow, but I mean reflections. And in the other plane too, but it's not that much. You won't even notice, and in movement it's barely noticeable. Yep, so I think Rockstar is actually doing a really great work with Red Dead Redemption 2 in the visual sides and the animation side. We'll see the gameplay. It looks amazing, and again, even the little mistakes, I think they are something positive because they show that they are showing you the real thing. They're not faking anything. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Hope you like it, and see you in the next one. Bye.